Chanell Love 22. It's a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hey, girl.
Hey.
How you doing?
I am wonderful tonight, okay? I am great.
All right. It's a Friday night, can't you tell?
Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, ma'am. I know all the world feel that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But after this week seemed so stressful. It was a lot going on.
It was a lot happening this week. A lot happening,
Well, let me introduce you because I know you've been on here before. Yeah. But everyone, welcome back to the Chanell Love 22 podcast. I'm reintroducing my guest, LaToya Buchanan. She's an Amazon bestseller author of Against All Odds, a functional medicine family nurse practitioner, owner of Global Health and Wellness, and an expert in the root cause blood work analysis.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's right. Give it up for healing people in the world. Give it up.
Look, you see me. This money.
And I was snapping.
Bring it.
Snapping. No, not snapping. Give it up. That's right.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, glad to have you back. Glad to have you back for another episode on the Chanell Love 22 podcast. Of course, it's always a good time with you here.
Always a good time.
Always a good time.
Always a good time.
Yeah. So, LaToya, how are you feeling about of course, we're talking a little bit today about boundaries and setting boundaries.
Oh my gosh.
That's in the personal and workspace, not just in the sense of setting boundaries with someone at home, but also at work or wherever that is necessary, you know?
Absolutely. Boundaries important, helps keep me healthy, helps keep me, functioning and focused on my actual goals, and helping me to see that boundaries mean that you love yourself. It means that you respect yourself enough to create a safe space for your mind so that you can progress in your own life and you can be healthy and happy. And when you do that, it shows other people how to do that too. So you become the first example sometimes for people. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you feel about, I've heard some people, well, I guess this can be something that happens. Some people use boundaries to create excuses or reasons to not be a part of someone else's life, or you know what I mean? So I can see someone taking it out of context, but overall, I feel like boundaries are important, and boundaries are something that we definitely need to have in place. What do you think?
Absolutely. Again, that really starts to, it shows yourself for one. When I begin to put boundaries in place in my life, and boundaries are actually a good thing. I think that the word boundaries, when people hear them, it feels like, that you're separated and no one has access to you. And that could be a definition of it. But boundaries could also, again, be something that you put in place to help you continue to propel forward. So if you're someone who you've been trying to achieve something, like going back to school, we're master's degree prepared nurse practitioners here. So if you've been trying to set a goal that you want to go back to school, or you've set a goal that you want to get a promotion, you cannot do something you've never done before by continuing to do the same things you've always done. So boundaries helps you to put everything in context. What's important? What do I need to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and so on, to help me to reach my goal. So
you set boundaries for yourself. Right?
You
need to get yourself in order, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's I never thought of it that way, but that's true. That's true, because a lot of times we dibble and dabble into all these different things, especially if you are someone like me who are on to the next thing, on to the next thing, have this idea, have that idea,
Yes.
all good ideas, but you do have to set your mind to be directed towards that goal, and
Yeah.
setting those boundaries of not dibbling and dabbling into too many different things at one time is
Right.
definitely important. So yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Help you keep focused, right?
Help you keep focused.
It helps you to keep focused. Because somebody like me, let me tell you, my mind, especially if I'm saying, okay, this is something I want to do, this is something I want to accomplish, like, getting into blood work analysis from general medicine, right?
Mhm.
So now trying to go into really focusing in on analyzing blood work, learning that. What does
Right.
that mean? How can I become better? Then that means I have to dedicate some of my time now to learning how to analyze blood work in more
Mhm.
detail. So
Mhm.
in order for me to give some of my time to that, that means that I'm going to be pulling time away from something,
Right.
right? This is all
Mhm.
different for me. So I have to set boundaries because that means I have this time on this day that I'm going to dedicate to learning how to analyze someone's blood work to help save their life.
Yeah.
How am I going to
And,
do that if I don't
and
allocate time to it?
yeah, creating that time from as far as work goes too. Like, do you find it
Ooh.
difficult, like, to create those boundaries from work to personal, to then even times when you're working on your own personal goals, like
Mm-hmm.
work kind of spills into everything for me.
It does. It definitely
you
does.
know,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Even so for me, work is a part of my personal goals because
Mm-hmm.
my own business, my own practice, of course I have goals for it, but I do
Mm-hmm.
also have other goals, like personal goals for myself.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. Ooh, okay. We gonna set a boundary between you and that. We gonna set a boundary
I
between you
think
and
that's
that.
I think the problem was it was a
Ooh,
boundary. Okay.
I can't with you. Okay. Woo, okay. It's Friday, girl. It's
It's
Friday.
Friday.
It's
Okay. So
Friday.
listen.
Yeah.
It's
So
Friday.
what was I saying? Oh, work boundary.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So creating a it was difficult for me sometimes because my business is my one of my goals. So of course I'm always working on my goal, but I do also have personal goals, like
Mm-hmm.
your own personal
Oh yeah, for sure.
health, fitness, whatever that goal may be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it is important, like you said, to create those boundaries so that you are able to achieve those goals. So in that sense, I feel like I do need to focus a little bit more on creating boundaries with work as far as it spills over into my personal goals for my physical, my physical goals.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it, it does definitely play a role. But how do you feel about boundaries in roles of relationships, like personal relationships?
The same way that boundaries show you that you have love for yourself, boundaries show other people how to treat you,
Right.
right? So especially as nurses, we are givers. We will give and give and give, and we have nothing left to give, and we burning on fumes, and then we're upset because it's like everybody's just taking. When is someone going to give to me? Well, I talking about me, I'm the one that started freely giving to you, so how can I be mad if you continue to take? You know what I mean? Because I
Right.
started that trend. I'm the one that
Hmm.
said,
Hmm.
hey, let me help. Hey, I can do this. Hey, I can be there for you. Hey, I can do this. So you cannot be upset when people continue to come to you and they want to take, because you've already said I'm willing to give. So
Right.
once you say, hey, this is how, this is going to go for me. Like, I'm going to cut my phone off. Again, this goes back to you loving yourself and setting it for
Hmm.
yourself too.
Hmm.
On Monday, I'm not taking any personal calls. Like, that's a day that I dedicate to me. That's a day I dedicate to my business, to making sure that it can progress and continue to grow. I don't take personal calls on Mondays unless it's an emergency. You know what I mean? And people who are in your life who really love you, and they're not only there to take what they can get will
Right.
respect that. You know, but that's you teaching people how to love you. So you can't be upset when you're burning on fumes. Bottom line is, you are supposed to give from the overflow of your cup. You
Right.
should be so full and overflowing because of the love and time that you're giving to yourself and spending on yourself, doing the things you enjoy doing so much that when you give to people, it's from what's overflowing from you. So when you leave from around them, you are still
You still
full.
have something in your cup.
You are
Right.
still
That's right.
full. So you're teaching them how to love you. And that's also what attracts the people that you really want. Okay,
Right.
women, us saying we want a certain type of man, and maybe I'm going there, we talking personal. We want a certain type of man, right? We want
Right.
somebody, for example, we want somebody that's 6'1", brown skin, muscles, six figures, hey, drive a nice vehicle, got their own take care of their kids. Hey,
Right. Right.
we
Right.
want that, right? Someone who has some sense of identity, who they are,
Mhm.
confidence, right? But if we're walking around with low self-esteem, don't know who we are, don't, really manage what we have well, how can we then expect to get someone and we're saying we want them to manage things well? We have
Right.
to show them how it is that we need to be treated. And we also have to show them, we also have to attract those things to ourselves. And we do that by first having it, by first
Yeah.
doing it. And then people who have those things that you say you want them to have, friends, someone you're interested in, a love interest, things like that. That's when the ones who have those things will begin to attract themselves to you, because
Mhm.
now you're doing it for you. So, and then you're not lacking. A lot of times
Right.
we let people come into our lives because we're lacking in an
Mhm.
area and they fulfill something that we're lacking, and not an overall good person. They're not overall good for us. It's just that they are supplying a lack. Maybe they rub
Mhm.
our feet and nobody in our life rubs our feet. And they can be just as grimy as they want to be. But because they rub our feet, we can't live without them.
Right.
Okay? We
I was
can't live
gonna say
without
that thing that they lack can be so deep. Like it
them.
doesn't
Mm-hmm.
you might not even realize what it is that you like, what is it about this person? Or like I
Yeah.
seen this thing the other day that was talking about like childhood trauma. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
things that you missed in childhood that you kind of unknowingly search for in your relationships as adults. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, say your parent wasn't that present, or you didn't
Mm-hmm.
receive a lot of hugs or love, or
Mm-hmm.
even someone saying "I love you."
Yes.
All those things are something that you search for in your adulthood if you never address the issue and never addressed the problem with that within yourself. So
Right.
I was gonna mention too when you was talking about all the list of all these things that we require or want, our
The
wish
list.
list.
The list. The list.
Yeah, our wish list. Men, shoot, what was I about to say? Okay, so our wish list, we do have to still create those boundaries, even with the man who has all those things, all
Mm-hmm.
those on your wish, because don't forget there are still people who are
Yes.
narcissistic. There are still people who are out here not serious or even not on the level of where you are,
Mm-hmm.
or what you're looking for, and
Truthfully.
people play
Truthfully.
games. So
Truthfully.
set
Truthfully.
those boundaries, because everything that glitter
And go,
ain't
and
gold.
go. And then when those, like you, when those boundaries are set already and that person comes in, because that's how you've shown yourself that you love yourself. So
Right,
when they come in and you start to see those red flags, a lot of times we overlook it. Oh, that person is, they just trying to be a good son, or they're just trying to be a good father. No, you're overlooking all of these red flags that you're getting because they're meeting a need for you. And what that
right.
should say to you is that I'm not loving myself completely the way that I need to, because we
Mhm.
spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years with whoever it is, and then we're like, well, I mean, they've always had that, but at first I kind of let it slide because I thought they were just being this way, or I was trying to be sympathetic to their situation, but you weren't being sympathetic to yourself and to your own
Right,
situation and your own needs, and you weren't being honest with yourself. And a lot of that comes from fears of being alone. We don't want to be
mhm,
by ourselves.
right.
But what if I told you that you were your best company? okay, that you could keep yourself. You keep the best company with yourself, and that spending time by yourself teaches you so much about yourself, so that you will then know, you know what, I don't really think I have a lot of respect for myself. I think my
Right.
hair is too short. I don't think my hair is long enough. I think my skin is not brown enough. I think my skin is too light. I think my belly is too big. I think my butt is too small. Whatever it is, spend that time loving on yourself, so that you can then be able to identify those red flags you've overlooked in the past because you didn't create those boundaries, and know who you are, know what you're worth, know what it is that you're seeking, and know when that person is not manifesting that, and get
Right.
it. Get
Right.
it.
Get get it mean take heed to it. Don't just overlook, right?
Take heed, my
Because
child.
every time I do have a conversation with somebody, or someone's discussing a behavior that they don't like, or something that, their
Mm-hmm.
partner, girl, whatever, it's
Mm-hmm.
like it was there in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
You are, it may not have
Yes.
been there showing up full 100%, but there were signs.
Yes, it was
And
always
yeah,
time.
there were signs, and of course, in the beginning, it's all,
You're just going off
uh,
of black, what you missing.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they're giving you that emotional fulfillment that you did not have. And then it's a person that wants to be there. I can honestly say that. And I documented this in my first book, Undefeated. Just talking about how I was in a marriage that was not the most healthy. And
hmm
I cannot honestly blame him. When I look back on it, I was an adult. I made my choices, and I made those choices based upon things I had already seen prior to taking that ring when he proposed, prior to
right,
saying I do. As a matter of fact, during the time to say that I do, there was so much going on and planning that wedding and that ceremony to celebrate us coming together, but I chose to overlook it because I was graduating from nursing school. I didn't want to be alone.
hmm
It had nothing to do with, this is the person that will complement my life and I will complement
right,
theirs. I just did not want to be alone. Therefore, I went through different situations that I ended up documenting in Undefeated, how I had to come out of it. And again, I had to take responsibility for Toya, not just
right,
saying, okay, well, what happened? This is what he did. Or no, what is it that I overlooked? Because he showed me so many different things. But because I wasn't loving on myself enough and setting boundaries enough, because of the way that I had been taught certain traditions, understand it's okay to let certain things go. We're so afraid, I think, to let certain things go, even though they're not helping us, they're not
yeah,
contributing to who we are. As we continue to grow, it's okay to develop new mindsets. It's
hmm
okay to develop new habits and things that actually contribute to you who are as a person, like help you to grow. Because I wasn't in that place, I'm dropping my beat because I am educated, because I wasn't in that place. I had to really, reflect on that and say, you know what? No, I was seeing signs, and I
hmm
really wasn't in the place, honestly, but I still chose to do it because I was afraid. I was graduating. What was the next step for me? All my friends was getting married. What do I do?
I seen something on that the other day. I think they call it anxious separation anxiety or some type of, I can't remember.
Mm,
It was something, but
mm,
it was basically saying like you're not you're basically you're afraid to be alone is the whole. It's
mm-hmm.
not that you're so in love, or it's not that
Yeah.
want, it's because it's you being alone and being by yourself. And I
I-
never thought of that being a thing, but I guess if you think about it, it's not like, oh, I need somebody to survive, but just being in a
mhm.
space of it, like to where you have to love yourself and reflect
Yes.
on yourself and hold yourself accountable. Because, like you said, there
Mm-hmm.
are those red flags, there are those things that you probably did see.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also one other thing I wanted to say was, how you kind of see the potential in people.
Oh, girl, say
So,
potential again. Say potential again.
potential,
That
that's
thing
not what,
right there, sis,
but
you own
that's
it.
gonna get you messed up.
You own it. That P word,
Yeah, yeah,
potential.
yeah. So
That will, girl, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go
that's that's probably what, like, kind of kept you there, walked you down the aisle, was the
ahead.
potential. Because if you
Thank
had those red flags, those things, and I always feel like so one thing I value most is honesty.
you. Yes.
because because I like to hold myself accountable. But if
Yes,
you being manipulative and not being honest with me, then
honey.
I can't see everything. How do I
Give
know
me the
I want to?
opportunity
Yeah,
to
how
know
I
if I
know I
want to
want
be
to
with
sit
somebody
here.
who
Like
gonna go swim.
yes. So
Give me the
that's
opportunity.
one thing I definitely value is honesty,
Yes.
because I want to decide if this is something I want to do, if it's
Yes.
something I don't want to do, and
And you'll be
and then
surprised at people who will go along with you if you being honest.
yes, if you were honest, because
Honesty
at
is
the end of the day,
attractive.
girl, who?
Honesty is attractive. Stop playing
Right.
games.
Honesty, being able to self-reflect, being
Hmm.
able to hold yourself accountable, like
Yes.
all that, because I feel
Hmm.
like I do that for myself. So at the end of the day, all those red flags that I let slide, I know I let them slide. I
Yes.
know they was there. But
Yes.
so now I could be like, okay, I sat here that long.
Yes.
This is me.
Yes.
You can't blame nobody but yourself, because you
Honey.
knew.
And you got it when you get to that understanding. It's like it takes as long as you allow it to. You come
Right.
into yourself. You know what I mean? You saying, oh my gosh, you know what? I did make that decision, and this person was showing me all of these things, but I made the decision because of this. And that P word, that potential, will have you in friendships, relationships, business ships, spaceships, boat ships. Any kind of ship you can think of. A
The
job has
potential.
potential. You
Yes.
know what I
Yes.
mean?
Okay. Right.
Like this person, whatever, the potential will keep you in a place sometimes that is unhealthy for you. But because you're looking at the future, I'm gonna tell you something that was said to me that helped me to make a decision. Toya, this is who I am, and I'm not going to change. I had
Right.
already been seeing the signs that this is who this person was.
Mm-hmm.
Once they said that to me, it hit me like it was like something just like really like God just breathed into my nostrils for the first time. It's like I woke up.
Right. Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't want to be with this person for the rest of my life.
Right.
Oh my goodness. And that's when I realized, even though I saw the potential, they were comfortable where they were and didn't want to
Mm-hmm.
live up to my potential.
Right.
Sometimes your dreams you have for people are bigger than the dreams they have for
That they have in
themselves.
themselves. Say
Catch
that.
that. Somebody
Say
catch
that.
that. What a balloon. Let's pop it.
No, look.
Somebody
Say
somebody
that.
catch that. That what you have for them, that dream you have for them is bigger than what they have for themselves.
Right.
You can
Right.
see it, but they have to be able to see it because it's their choice to live it. So what you're trying to do then, you might is take control of their life. You're trying to be in control because you see that potential. You're always trying to point them in the direction to make decisions that's going to guide them down that road of potential.
Of what
Even
you
when you
see.
see them off,
Mm-hmm.
even when you see them off, you gonna help. You're trying to guide their decisions. And when they give you resistance, well, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to be there. Well, you said you wanted to go back to school. Well, you said you wanted to get promoted. Maybe you should jump in the next promotion process. Well, I don't want to get in this process. And then you confused, like, wait a minute, what? In a
Mm-hmm.
relationship, like, wait, but I thought you wanted to do this to make more money. I thought it, but that's not there. They could have just been what they say, they could have been capped. I mean, they
Right.
really
Well,
they could
in the beginning, they show you their best representative anyway. So
of
you over
course.
here thinking that this. Well, you said you was interested in. Nah, not
And they
for
don't want to
real.
do it. Now they don't
Right.
want to do it.
Yeah.
The job
Yeah.
is there. They want to be an
Right.
engineer, engineering program, full scholarship. And they're looking at you like, what? Where you get that idea from? You
Right.
said it to
You
me.
said.
You told me you want to be an engineer. Now you don't want to be an engineer.
Right.
So that's what we do, and that gives you, you have to give yourself credit as a good quality woman person when you are willing to support someone through their dreams, but you cannot support them more than they are willing to support themselves. And the same
Right.
thing goes for us. We can't expect someone to support us and do for us more than we are willing to do for ourselves. We
Right.
out here soft girl era, take me on trips, put me on boats, let me lay in the sun and have my glass of champagne. You ain't took yourself on a trip. You ain't
Right.
put
Right.
yourself on the yacht. You hadn't laid yourself in the sun with the glass of champagne to even know what that feels like. And you can even
Yeah.
do that in meditation. You can do it really in your mind and develop it so that you will carry yourself, okay?
Yeah.
As
Or
that woman.
even be in the position to be able to do those things for yourself. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? You're requiring this from someone else. but you
Mm-hmm.
don't even require this from yourself to live
Exactly.
this lifestyle. Like, I think that's
Exactly.
the difference, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what causes a lot of confusion because,
Yes.
you say soft girl era. I want to live a soft life. Me too.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Who
but
don't?
hey, who doesn't, right? But I'm also a go-getter. I'm also a hard worker. I
That's
want to
right.
live this lifestyle because this is what I like. Like,
That's
I
right.
like this if I'm with you or not. Like,
That's
this is
right.
just me.
Treating
So
yourself.
there is definitely a difference. And
Mm-hmm.
you say soft girl era, and there's a lot of I feel like men who are in the position now to where they're like, I want help too. They're like, I want I want you to help me,
Hold
you
on.
know.
Can we just be real for a minute? I'm so glad you brought it up. When did the roles reverse? And when I say roles reverse, I mean you have some men now, and I guess they were like, listen, with women who they feel like, okay, going back, I remember having conversations with my friends about making more money than men that you're dating, right? When you get a certain
Okay.
level of education, a certain level of
Right.
training, start your own business, whatever.
Mhm.
But and then certain women are okay with that. He can make less than me, this and that. But it
Right.
seems to me there's some men, and I'm not bashing men. I'm not a man. I love men. I
Right.
have a man son. Okay, I do. I love men. But when
Right.
did
Right.
when did we get to the place where some men started feeling like that the women should really take care of them financially?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think
When did we
that
get to that point?
it came after the whole well, you used to hear a lot about the gold digger era, you know what
Yes.
I mean? So
Yes.
then it's like, okay, well, these women are looking for these men to take care of them. Well, I want 50-50. I guess. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know, but I just feel like, I, of course, we could talk about the economy. We could talk about how
Hmm.
things are, but at the end of the
Yes.
day, I feel like a man's role is to be a provider and a protector,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
My role is to be a nurturer and to,
Yes.
help uplift you, uplift us, uplift the family,
Mm-hmm.
take care of the family, have the children, whatever.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't give you part of my role,
Right. Right.
but you want me to take half of yours. Like,
Yes. 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 And I mean, and that's even in a traditional sense, which I know that's why I like coming on here and talking to you, because there are a lot of things that we have, a lot of commonalities we have. That's in
mhm,
a traditional sense. And now you do have some women that have been okay. I've had these conversations where they're okay with, okay, I can work and I can make the money, the bulk of the money. If you're okay with being more nurturing, if you're okay with taking care of the home, if you're okay with actually cooking, if you're okay with making sure that the home stays together and it doesn't fall apart, like maintaining the home, making sure the vents are changed, making sure the HVAC is together, making sure the roof is together, because you can then balance that. So, life has changed in a certain sense where roles can be reversed. I've met
mhm.
couples where roles have been reversed, but they're both happy and they're both
Right,
okay with that. When I say taking care of a man, men being okay, you don't want to do anything, but
right.
you are just supposed to be at the house.
You
And I
still
guess,
want the 100% treatment, like you showing up 100%, but
yes.
you showing up 50%. Now, yeah, that's an issue,
And
but
it doesn't take anything off my plate. So
it
my
doesn't
plate
take
is
nothing
still
off my plate.
full. And on
Right.
top of that,
I'm
then my
putting half of your stuff
responsibility.
on top of my,
There
yeah,
you
no.
go. There you
Yeah,
go. And I
no.
think as a person, that's just a issue with boundaries as
Yeah,
people, you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
because I think that's more of a discussion as well. Like, what are the roles going to be in this relationship?
Mhm,
You know,
mhm.
and what, even in friendships, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
As
because that
I've
can be overwhelming too. Yeah,
don't be,
absolutely.
I'm so over the time in the times when people only call when they want something.
Girl.
Honestly, there are things that I'm building for myself, for my family, for my children. I am more in the mindset now of leaving a legacy. I
Mhm.
just had this conversation before we started this podcast. If we are in a position where you're only calling me when you want something, but if I need something, I'm calling you, and you're never able to do anything. I mean,
Right.
information is something. Our resources, an option. helping me talk through the situation or whatever it is to get what it is that I desire, whatever it is that I need, is contributing to this friendship. So if you're not contributing in any way and it's only one-sided, then that's not a healthy boundary either. Because
Mm-mm.
then you start feeling depleted again. And these are the people that are in your immediate circle. You are a reflection of, if you think of like the top 3 to 5 people that you're around all the time, you are
Right.
a direct reflection of their characteristics. And even not having boundaries up for them in friendships, you can start feeling depleted as well.
Right.
Bottom
Right.
line, being used.
Yes. But at the end of the day, I always tell my clients too about, having that close circle, that close knit circle. And
Hmm.
that circle of people should be people who pour into you as much as you pour into them.
Right.
So that you won't ever be empty. Or
Exactly.
like you said, the
Oh
people who
yeah.
call
Hmm.
for something, need something, are
Hmm.
these people who you would call if you needed something, you
Right.
know? And
Right.
I don't know why some people, I don't know if people think that everyone is like not or they maybe they think they're just incognito, like, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And you haven't heard from this person. You
Uh-huh.
already know off top, like, what she want, what she need, what he need, what
Because
you
you
know
know they
what.
need something.
I haven't heard from you all year. Like, it's
Now you calling me
December.
for prayer. Now you need me to pray for you.
Yes, yes. So I don't know, and I'm not saying that people don't, have an emergency or it's a bind or something
Yes.
like that, but I'm talking about people who purposefully, reach
Right.
out just in their time of need, but are not there as an
And
option for
yours.
anyone else, and
And
not even
yours.
just anybody. Like, you
Yes.
take, 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 take. So there are
Mm-hmm.
those people, and that's why boundaries is important, especially for your close knit circle.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the activities I have my clients do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, take a look at your close knit circle, the people you will call on.
Yeah.
Are you being drained by that circle?
Hello.
Are those people who can pour into you or
Mm-hmm.
even help you advance in life? Like, are they on
Right.
the same level as you? I always
Yes.
feel like you should be in contact. You don't have to hang with them, but be
Mm-hmm.
around a mentor or someone who is
Yes.
at the level that you're trying to get to,
Yes.
so that you can attract that in your life too. So
Where you
yeah,
are or above. Where you are
above.
or above.
Yep.
You
There you
know,
are above. Absolutely.
because to be honest, even as someone that continues to learn and has mentors, it's okay if you have someone, if you choose to have someone that you're mentoring. But what I
Hmm.
noticed is that it initially started for me feeling depleted, and then I had certain people that were actually implementing what we would talk about. So they actually did the stuff. They would do the work. Like, hey, I'm trying to get into school. Okay, this is step one. You ready? You got a
Hmm.
pen, or you want me to wait? You want to record this? Whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm
Right.
completely fine with that, and you're doing the work. And then, the ones who choose not to, and then they call you back next week in the next 2 weeks with the same problem, the
Yeah.
same issue. That's when it starts to drain who you are. When you think
Hmm.
about people who are successful, who are very wealthy, who are successful in their specialty, successful in their business, they are very conscientious of their time and who they give it to,
Right.
because you cannot drain yourself by giving yourself over to someone who's not even respectful enough of where you are, and where they're trying to go, on top of that, to do what it is you're telling them to do before they come back in the same situation. So that,
Right.
what you teach your clients is amazing. The people who are draining them and all of that, and recognizing that, and then the people that you do get love from, and what that feels like and what that looks like. Because sometimes you can have people that show you how, what it is that the characteristics you look for in
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Things
You
that
know what I mean?
some things that you're lacking.
That too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
some things that you're lacking. So
That's it.
I feel like, of course, we talking about having those people around you. Sometimes those
Mm-hmm.
people in your close circle could be from a like having the same trauma bond. You know what I mean? But
Yes.
they're not really that good for you. So
Yes. Oh
that's
God.
it. That is definitely something that's important to make sure that, and I'm not saying, like you said, if you have
Mm-hmm.
people who you're mentoring, people who are, you could tell when somebody's like eager to learn, trying
Yes.
to do right and trying to absorb anything they can and everything that you're willing to help them with, versus
Mm-hmm.
someone who's just always trying to take or have
Exactly.
taken out.
And
Yeah.
you feel it because if you identify, like if you're journaling, so if you are kind of writing down, or honestly, this is a challenge, journal challenge, in those moments that you feel severely depleted, just take a moment before you go to sleep. Even if you someone that have a lot of time constraints and you have a lot going on, take a moment and write down everything that's happened in that day,
Hmm.
everything that's happened the day before, people that you've talked to, conversations that you've had, because there is a root to why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. You don't just feel depleted for no reason. There is a root cause to that. There's a root cause to everything. There's a root cause to that. And that'll help you to identify and break down, where is it coming from? Why am I feeling so depleted? Who am I giving all my time to? And why don't I have this time left for myself? Even as
Right.
a mom, I take mommy weekends. I have to have them as a woman who's raising children,
Hmm.
and I'm spending the majority of my time balancing between my business and my children. I honestly, let me just be honest with you. For me, the days are gone when I'm a strong woman. I'm gonna take care of my kids and I don't need nobody. The devil is a lie. Let
Yeah.
me tell you what I do need.
We
I
need a
need my
village.
and I need my time. I need my mental time. I need time by myself so I can continue to not just be a strong example for my
Hmm.
children. I need to be an intelligent example for my children. I
Right.
need to be a whole person for my children. I need to teach my children how to go through challenges, how to overcome them, and that it's okay to be human and make mistakes. All of that with a peaceful and a sound mind. How can
Right.
I do that if I'm always giving my time to either my children or my business? There is no time left for me.
For yourself. Right.
I teach my children this is how you love yourself, and this is how you identify when someone is coming in and disrupting your peace. Because if someone's coming into my life as a friend, as a business partner, as a romantic relationship, they
Hmm.
need to add to this the same way that if I
Right.
come into their life, I'm definitely adding to,
Right.
regardless of who it is. It could be someone who's mentoring me. I'm adding to. I'm adding light. I'm adding happiness.
Right.
I'm that student that's willing to learn. You know what I mean? So
Eager.
I'm adding
Ready.
to, yes. So
Yeah.
whoever comes into your life needs to add to you. But how can they add to you if you haven't added to yourself and you don't even know what it is that you want for
I was
someone
about
to
to
add
say
to?
that people don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nowadays, it's like, do you even know what you want? Like,
Yes. It's, I
what are
mean, and
you looking for?
that's a
What's
journey
your
for
goal?
me. That's a continuous journey for me. Is adding to. I'm learning every day at this amazing age of 40. Looking good.
Ow.
Okay. I'm I'm learning every day what it is that I would want in a spouse. What I
Hmm.
would want that to look like. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because it's different now than it was when I was 25 years old and had
Absolutely.
just graduated from college. It's
Hmm.
different.
Hmm.
But what does that look like now? Because some of the things I could have thought that I wanted then, I don't really want that now. My life
Right.
looks completely different. So,
Right.
what is it that I want in that person? And that is a journey. And that takes time sometimes as you're getting to know you, what
Hmm.
you like, what you don't like, in your friends and the people that are around you. If you're a business person and the podcast that you want to appear on, honestly, I love coming to this one because I like the person that you are and learning you and really in holistic medicine and in mental health and your passion for it. You're a real person. You're a true person. And I can see that. And I listen to the things that you say, the things that you do in the time that we've had together. And it's just like, yeah, and it's genuine. The
Hmm.
bond and connection is genuine. And with people like that, for me, I don't mind sharing my time with. I want to, because when I finish with this tonight, I'm going to continue to be happy. So I'm
Right.
not getting off here and feeling like any regret at any time I've come on with you. I get
Yeah.
off and I still feel happy. I still feel empowered. I get more ideas. I get more. It is just such an amazing vibe. Chanell Love 22. It's a vibe, baby. It's such an amazing vibe that it's like that's how it should be when you leave anyone else's presence, and you should make it, a goal in your life that when people leave your presence, they should feel the same way. But
Right.
understanding
Right.
who you are, standing in it, and being okay that you don't have to give your time, your body, your mind to just anybody.
Right.
They
Right.
have to, really come to the level that you are, and
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. And having that fear of being alone is going to put you back in those situations you don't desire to be in, and the situations that have brought you strife, stress, heartbreak, heartache, diseases, increase in
Yeah.
your blood pressure, blood sugars all out of whack, can't
Mm-hmm.
sleep at night, can't eat, going anorexic. you know you're stressed
Right.
out, you're
I
stressed
think you hit the
out.
nail on the head when you said you gotta figure out who you are and what you want, because like you said there, I'm with you. I'm learning as I go too. Something I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I thought I could tolerate that, maybe not.
Yes.
I don't like that. I thought that I'd be cool with that, but nah,
No.
I don't think so. So it does change, and
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know what changes or what I want if I haven't tried something. So you do have to get
Okay.
out there, try it,
Oh
see if
yeah.
see if that's something you really like or you really want. And as
Yes.
you get older, like you said, your things change.
Yes. Yes.
Even the people you want around you change. Like
Exactly.
you like, y'all going to the I'm gonna hang with the people going to the spa over here,
There
or you
you
know what I'm saying?
go.
Like
There you
there's
go.
different you definitely change
It
all of
changes.
your people in your circle, whether it's
Exactly.
friends, intimate, work. Listen,
Professionally,
yes,
them goals change,
professionally.
honey. They
Mm-hmm.
change. So that's why I said gone are the days where people are spending 30 years at one company and retiring.
Absolutely
Because
not.
I believe that, the generations started really getting an idea of who they are and the gifts and
Mm-hmm.
talents that they have. And then when they see another company whose mission actually matches, the vision they have for their life, then they're going to go over there. But guess what? Now that I've gotten married and I've had a child, and you're requiring me to be on call every weekend, but I don't have childcare on the weekend because I have a child now. Guess what? Now I got to go find somewhere else who matches the mission for the vision of my life. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
That's when those changes started happening. And I always tell people, anyone that I'm mentoring, you have to look at the mission statement of the company. Some people will go, I remember this meme on social media. It was this girl sitting there, and the guy said, tell me why we need to hire you. And she said, because y'all hiring. And it's
And
like,
I'm
that's how it can be sometimes.
right.
You just want a job, and then you get in there and you find out, oh my, this environment's so toxic. People so
Mm,
negative. My manager is not well trained. I know more
mhm.
about this position than they know about this position. And then you see it doesn't really align with your life. And when I
Right.
used to teach nursing students, I would tell them the same thing. Hey, I need y'all to look at the mission statements of these healthcare systems that you want to go work for, because they can say, hey, we believe in, our mission is to make sure that for every 12 patients we have one nurse, and you signing up because they paying you
Right.
$50 an hour. But you about to go in there and work like a slave because you didn't look at look at what the mission is of wherever it is
Mhm.
that you want to work, and make sure it aligns with who you are as a person. Because if it doesn't, then you find yourself going in there, even if it's not something that extreme, you find yourself going in there, and now you have to model and be something that you're not,
That you're not right.
because
I
you
feel
don't
like you could
align
take
with the
that
culture.
outside of work.
Yes.
What you just said, like, look at the mission statement of your friends, your
Oh,
family. Look, your family, everybody, your intimate partners,
what's
everybody.
your mission
What's
statement?
your mission statement?
Did
Like, let
Steve
me
Harvey
see
put that in his book? Act like a lady, think like a man. What's your mission?
what's your mission statement? Look,
Ah,
before
yes,
we go
ma'am.
any further,
What's your mission
what's
statement?
the mission statement, right?
And see how
Yeah,
they
because
look at you. What? Like what?
right, right.
Yeah, what's your
It's
mission in life? You
yeah,
know?
because you definitely have to align with what I am trying to do or where I'm trying to
Yes.
go, because it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna
Right.
work. It's not
Exactly.
gonna work.
And
And
be
so,
honest about that. My
yeah.
gosh. Like,
Do you think
because
people? Do you think people are? I feel like sometimes I feel like people want to live fairy tale false life. Like
I
they
do.
ain't they not too much are
It's,
too into being the honest in that honest space. Like I
no,
don't know if it's difficult.
that is a self problem. That is okay, that is a self challenge. That is that person's challenge. And when you follow up their fairy tale that they're not living up to, when you support that, then you are now contributing to them not having a realistic view of themselves and their life. What I
Mm,
have grown to see, even in friendships that I'm newly developing and ones that I've decided to let go of, is this: the ones that I've newly developed, they can be honest with me and I
mhm.
can be honest with them. And so if it's a goal that they've set, or if it's something they say they want to do, or if it's someone they say they don't want to be with, then I'm going to say, hey, but didn't you say he cheated on you twice in the past 2 weeks? Didn't you just tell me that your manager belittled you in the conference room in front of everyone and
Right.
you decided you didn't want to be there anymore? Now they offered you an extra dollar an hour and you want to stay?
Mhm.
I'm hurt now. But I had to grow to that place because I realized that the people, the colleagues, the friends that I had around me were not being that honest with me. Therefore, I continued to walk in circles personally and professionally because they weren't really there to help me. They were supporting my emotions.
Your
That's it.
illusions, like whatever you wanted to think of in your head. Yeah, and I think that a lot of people do that as part of being accepted too. Like, I don't want to be brutally honest with
Mhm.
her, and then she like, I don't want to. But I was gonna say that's a good thing to do. Is
Yeah.
to be brutally honest because now you have those people who there's some people who always just pour their
Yes.
situations, their problems onto you, but when you start holding them accountable, like, wait a minute, didn't you just tell me that this, or that you were going
Yes.
to leave that situation, or that you wasn't doing that
Yes.
anymore, and now here you go telling me the same.
Doing
So it
it
kind of holds
again.
them accountable. Yeah, it holds
Yes.
them accountable.
And do that for me, because let me tell you something, those people are
Hmm.
such a safe space.
Yeah.
We always end up going back to the people, even though they might have been brutally honest and hurt your feelings and had you bawling and crying. You know, you know, in your subconscious mind, in your spirit, your soul, whatever you choose to call it, that that person is a safe space. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you, you will be going back to them, asking them for more advice, or telling them, you know what, you were right. It was difficult
Hmm.
for me to take it in that moment, but you were right. And I appreciate you for that. Because what it does is it disrupts your normal. It disrupts your normal activity and it disrupts your abnormal way of doing things
Right.
because you're getting the same result. And so, because it disrupts a part of you and it sits on you so hard and it gets you to the point where you cry or you become angry, once that emotion passes, you are never the same.
Right.
That truth has now become light to you. Your life is forever changed for that person. So I challenge you, even tonight, today, whenever you see this, go tell whoever told you the truth and it hurt you, thank you. Because they disrupted a part of you and you will never ever forget that. Even if you don't ever talk to them again, you will
Right.
never forget that. And it's going to be what they said to you that helps to propel you into the future that you say you want for yourself. Because remember, they're only reminding you of what it is that you said you want.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you called them or you
Hey,
went to them.
yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate truth. I want you to tell me truth as well,
Yes.
because I am one of those people to kind of
Mm-hmm.
put my 2 cents in. I'd be like, girl, didn't you just say, whatever
You
was
just
whatever?
said. You just
Yeah. So
said.
I'm definitely one of those people, but I want to be held accountable for my stuff too. So if I'm over
Yes.
here telling you something and then you like, girl, I thought you said you wasn't going
Yes.
that do kind of bring light to it.
It
But
do.
a lot of times people are
Mm.
reluctant to share or say that
Because
to,
they don't want to hurt your feelings.
yeah. But
And I told one of my mentors here lately, I said, listen, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I said, but let me tell you something. I need you to tell me the truth because of where I am and where I'm going, the goal that I have for myself. I said, I'll cry about it later. If you hurt my feelings, I'm gonna cry about it later. My voice might tremble a little bit. I might be in my feelings for a couple hours, but tell me the truth first. Let me cry about it Because
Right.
what I'm going to do after I'm done is I'm gonna write down what you said, and I'm going to really evaluate my life and see where that's true at. A lot of times that stuff, what they say to us, it stings so hard. And we feel like I wasn't ready to say it. Well, it wasn't what you said, it was how you said it. Well, they can work on that later. They can work on how they said it later. But that
Right.
truth that they just hit you with has really changed the trajectory of the rest of your life. And that
Did
is
you get
something to
the
be grateful
message?
for.
Don't shoot. What it
Yeah.
say? Don't shoot the messenger.
That's
Just
right.
get the message, right?
Just
And
get the
take heed.
message.
Yeah,
Just get
take
the
heed.
message. Take a hold to it. Hold on. Hold on.
Take a hold.
Hold on. You know how I can get, girl. Hold on.
It sound like you was preaching. Take a
Hold,
hold to
but hold on to that thing. That might be the only lifeboat you get for a couple months.
it. Right.
Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
Man.
Yes, indeed. So, absolutely, absolutely. So this has really been wonderful. Like the boundaries in life. I think
Yeah.
that a lot of people suffer with a lot of like depression and anxiety because of that too. A lot of it is like from their environment or trying to please the people around them, and then being afraid of being who they are.
Hmm.
Because of experiences that they've had. And it honestly, I think it would relieve a lot of it if people became more comfortable with themselves and then chose to put themselves in the environment that were more accepting of who they are and not trying to force themselves on family, on friends. Just because you've had them for years, that's okay. But put yourself in an environment where people are accepting and loving of who you are, and not only who you are today, but who
Who
you
are
are
you gonna
striving to
become?
be.
Yes.
See how we be on one accord? You see me
Girl,
finishing
you
my
hear me? You
sentences.
hear me? I'm
It's
right there. I'm
a
there. Chanell Love
vibe.
22 with the
It's a
vibe.
vibe. Yes.
Well, thank you
Hmm.
for coming on today. It's always a
Yes.
pleasure to have you. Of course, you're
Yes.
welcome back anytime.
It's time to
Anytime.
go. Time to
Look,
go.
it's Friday. Don't you want to go finish your chill session, relax, or your me time? It's
Yes.
Friday.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes, I do.
All right. So I always leave with a proverb if you at the end of my shows. So the one I'm gonna end with today is, I know you probably can get this one. I'm gonna start it off and then you finish it,
We
right?
got to do this again. The last time I did not
Yeah,
know
well,
how
this time
I.
I ain't gonna give you all them options and all them different. I just picked one that was relevant to what we're talking about. So,
Uh-huh.
okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right. If you don't stand for something,
You will fall for anything.
I knew you was going to church. I knew you was gonna do something
You
extra.
know, you know. That's why I told you the last time I was not obedient to this game. I remember I was all
Mm,
over the place.
yeah, you was all of them. That's okay. That is okay. That's okay. And of course, we know how that relates to basically everything we've been talking about tonight. Setting your boundaries, knowing your worth, saying yes to things when you should say no because it's draining. Surrounding yourself with those who pour back into you like you pour into
Mm-hmm.
them. Just avoiding those situations because it can lead to anxiety, burnout, depression, isolation, and cost you your peace, something that is not worth it. So, the most valuable thing is valuing yourself, setting those boundaries, and just standing on it, standing on what the boundaries that you set, the vision that you see for yourself,
Ten toes
and
down.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
standing on business.
Standing on big business.
Yeah.
Big business. Not little business, big business.
Big business, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank
Yes.
you. You need to shout out any of your platforms
Yes,
or
absolutely. So, us talking about boundaries tonight and all, just making sure that you are doing that to show yourself love. It's also important to speak to yourself every day out loud. Open your mouth. Tell yourself who you are so that you can start walking and living your life according to who you believe that you are. You will find in those moments, as you're doing that, sometimes those tears will start to flow. But you need to remind your soul, your spirit, constantly who you are, what it is you want to achieve, who you know that you are, what your characteristics are. So soon coming, follow me, LaToya D Buchanan, on all major social media platforms, or the Blood Work NP on all major social media platforms. I'm going to be dropping some affirmation cards and a manifestation journal. So
Mm-hmm.
that way you can make sure that you can be writing down those feelings that you have and where that source is coming from, like what's causing me to feel and to think this way, and also what it is that you want to manifest for your life. What is it that you want to see happen for yourself? And those affirmation cards you will use to speak to yourself, to build yourself up so you can present yourself to the world and teach the world how to love you. Okay. All
Absolutely. I
right.
love that. I love that. So affirmations and a journal, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, Miss LaToya, I see you. I love
Yes,
it.
ma'am.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yes.
Self-care.
That's what you want to
Self-care.
bring to yourself. That's right.
Self-care. All right. Well, thank you so much. And of course, it's Friday, so I will let you go and let you enjoy your night. Thanks everyone for listening to the Chanell Love 22 podcast, where love is the highest frequency, and it's a vibe tonight. It's Friday.
Yes, it is. And thank you for having me.
Bye. Chanell Love 22. It's a vibe. Like, follow, and subscribe.
Disclaimer. The information shared on the Chanell Love 22 podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not medical advice. Neither the host, guest, nor the podcast assumes responsibility for any actions taken based on this content. Listeners are strongly encouraged to consult a licensed healthcare provider before making any changes to their health, including medications, supplements, or treatments. This podcast is intended to comply with applicable regulations. However, it is not a substitute for legal or medical advice specific to your location. Listeners outside of the United States should ensure they follow healthcare guidance and regulations relevant to their regions. Thank you for listening, and remember, health is wealth.